smarter and a lot faster. Okay, so let's get right into the main meat of our session. All right, if you're interested in getting into AI, any of you on the call here, you're excited to get into AI, just type in a yes into the chat. You're excited to get into AI, just type in a yes into the chat. Okay, brilliant. And I'd like to know, why do you want to learn AI skills? I'd love to know why you want to learn AI skills. So type into the chat as well. Let me know why you want to learn AI skills. Okay, you want to get it for promotion, you want to get it because you want to land remote jobs. Text the reason why you want to upskill yourself in the use of AI. All right, just type into the chat. Okay, to better my life. Fantastic. So today we're looking at analytic skills that pays tremendously well in 2026. And I'm going to show you how to leverage AI, in building these skills as we move on today. I'd like to see in the comments. Let's keep it coming. We have a lot of people here on the call today. Let's keep our session engaging. All right, so type into the chat. I can see from Kelvin K says, to better my life. Orieji says, to improve my efficiency at work. Mohammed says, to make more money working from home. Ada says, to get a remote job. So do we just have 5 people? We have about 35 people on the call. I'd like to know your thoughts. Charity says, to improve my work. Absolutely phenomenal. So I'll be helping you today navigate the space. For those of you that don't know what AI is and how you can leverage AI, by the end of today's session, you'll be building something using AI. That I can promise. You'll build your very first AI tool. Okay? So welcome Adedamola, Olatubosun, Koi, to be more efficient, to get more jobs, to get remote jobs. Ade, to improve myself and remain relevant and competitive. Increase efficiency. So why are we here today? We are here because you all want to do this amazing stuff. Adam wants to make more money, increases income. Chidi wants to update his AI skills and have updated skills. And we have different people here on the call today. Okay, and this emanates from you telling us the reason why you joined us. For some of you, you are physically exhausted and tired of the long hours you have to put in when you get to work. It's draining for you. Commute to the office very early in the morning, get back home very late at night, and your body is beginning to pay the price. So we have people like that here on the call, and you want to upskill, you want to get a better job, you want to do things, get into a career path that give you the opportunity to do the things you want to do. That's the first category of people that we have. The second category of people we have are those who are in silent frustration. So you show up every day to work, you get to work, you do the hard work, but you watch other people moving ahead while you are still in the same position. Same position as 2025, same as 2024, no considerable improvement. All right, and you're frustrated, you don't know what those other people are doing to get to where they are and get those promotions and all of that. And I'll be showing you what you need to do starting from today. We have another group of people. You are tired, you feel stuck in one place. You watch others build global careers. You hear them saying, I got a remote job, I'm working remotely, working for a company in the US, working for a company in Canada, and you really don't know how they are doing it. You also want to get those skills so you can get remote job opportunities, but you have no clue on what to do. I'll be showing you what to do today. And the 4 things I'll show you how to do very quickly is I'll show you the skills, the AI skills that will enable you land a job in the shortest period possible, within the space of 2 months. The skills you can add to your already existing skills, and that positions you for better job opportunities, working from different parts in Africa, in Nigeria, and working for companies in the US, in Canada, in the UK, and so on. And I will double down a little bit on Canada as we move on today. All right, I'll show you how to learn the skills you need to land those jobs. So what's the best way to learn? All right. A lot of people learn the wrong way. And when I was transitioning myself about 12 years ago, I also learned the wrong way. But why learn the wrong way when there's a better way to learn? Why make the same mistakes I made 12 years ago when you can learn from my mistake? So I'll show you exactly the best way to learn so that you get better job opportunities and you know how to do the job on day one. Then I'll show you how to gain work experience. And I would emphasize on this a little bit more as we move on. And this is simply because employers don't care about what you say you can do in 2026. They only care about what you have done before. So how do you gain work experience to show to a US recruiter that you have done that job before? And even better still, you've done that job for a US-based company. And because of that, you are qualified to get that opportunity doing the job for them, or showing them that you have Canadian work experience. And because of that, you also want to get a job doing that for them for a Canada-based company, irrespective of where you are. I'll show you how to gain that work experience. And of course, more importantly, I'll show you how to start today. So by the time we are done with our session, in the next 1.5 hours, you know exactly how to start your journey. But before we dive into the main meat of our session, I'll do a little bit of introduction. But those of you wondering, Tenalytics, what are we all about? Tenalytics is a leading educational technology company, and the focus for us is on helping people of the Black community land high-paying jobs in the tech ecosystem. We operate out of Alberta in Canada and also London in the UK. All right. We currently have, over the last 5 years, we've helped over 4,000 plus people with no prior experience in tech, no prior background in tech. We've been able to help them to transition. We've helped bankers become data analysts. We've helped nurses become healthcare data reporting analysts. We've helped those working in logistics become logistics analysts. We've helped them become cybersecurity professionals, and so on and so forth. And I'll show you the exact that they used and how you can also use the exact same playbook to get the same type of results. All right. We have over 182 full-time employees and access to over 300 industry experts whose role and focus is to ensure that you thrive when trying to make that transition in your journey. And we focus on areas specific within a particular career path, not the entire tech, career path. And that's simply because tech in itself is broad, but we focus on areas that give you the opportunity to easily land that job in the shortest period possible. Areas like generative AI for data analytics, AI automation engineering, generative AI for the HR analyst, generative AI for business analysis, project management, and so on and so forth. And by the time we are done today, you know exactly where you fall and how you can also tap into those opportunities. And just a bit of introduction about myself. My name is Adeza Suleiman. I'm a technology expert with over a decade experience cutting across data analytics and management consulting. So like many of you, I had no technology background, no computer science background. I studied industrial chemistry in the university. My first job out of the university was as a management consultant, but I wanted more, just like you all said. Like Aisha said, to upskill. Peter said, to upskill and land a remote job. Yusuf said, exploring the new economy. I wanted more than just management consulting. I wanted better pay, and I also wanted the opportunity to see the impact of the work that I did. And that led me down the route of data analytics. I transitioned into data analytics. Years down the line, I founded Tenalytics and also Amdari, two educational technology companies that helped over 4,000 Africans and people of the Black community with no prior tech background, helping them to transition into the tech ecosystem and land their very first jobs. I currently work as a data analytics and engineering contractor in Canada, Alberta, Canada. I've lived and worked in the UK as a data science consultant, customer insight analyst. I worked for companies in the US back when I was in Nigeria, working remotely. I've worked with one of the largest privately owned energy conglomerates in sub-Saharan Africa as a data analyst and as a management information systems analyst. I've worked with FITC, owned by the Bankers Committee and the Central Bank of Nigeria, as a data science consultant. And my experience spans across multiple sectors. And I'll be sharing my experience with you today as we move on in an amazing session. All right. Now, one of the things you'd hear a lot of people talk about, especially with AI, as it relates to AI, is that AI would take your job. Okay, AI would take your job. If you agree that AI would take your job, give me the thumbs up. If you don't agree that AI would take your jobs, give me the thumbs down. Okay, so thumbs up or thumbs down. If you agree that AI will take your jobs, give me the thumbs up. If you disagree and you feel that no, AI would not take my job, give me the thumbs down. Okay, so only Olatubosu, brilliant. Elizabeth is also giving the thumbs down. Okay, Mary, Peter, interesting. You all don't agree that AI will take your jobs. Koi also disagrees that AI will take your job. Same with Onwuka. All right, and I totally agree with you. AI would not take your jobs. However, your co-workers, your colleagues, your counterparts, your contemporaries that know how to use AI would take your jobs. Those employees, your colleagues in the office, that person sitting next to you in your shared office that is learning AI, that's the dangerous person, and that's the person that will take your job. Okay, so I've kept a link right here for you, and it's a link. I want you to listen to this at the end of the session. I'm going to share my slide with you, and I want you to listen. This is from the CEO of NVIDIA, Jensen Huang. Listen to what he had to say about AI taking your jobs. And he clearly indicated that AI, you won't lose your job to AI. Okay, you would lose your job to your co-worker who uses AI. And when you're reading the article, also make sure you listen to this very short recording, about 4 minutes. It's a summary of the entire article. And it clearly shows you that if you don't know how to use AI, and I can use AI to do my job a lot more efficiently, I can get things done a lot faster. It takes you 24 hours to get something done, but I can do it in less than 5 minutes. I'll definitely get promoted ahead of you. I'll definitely get that new opportunity ahead of you. And I'll seem like the superstar in the office while you would keep on struggling. Okay, so you should be scared of that person who is learning AI today. You should be worried about that person who understands how to use different AI tools and technologies while you don't. And the easiest way to solve the problem is you really can't control what other people do, but you can control what you can do and what you will do eventually. All right. So AI would not take your jobs, but that person learning AI would potentially have the chance to take your job if you are not also upskilling. So you've all indicated when I asked the question why you want to learn AI, and so many of you, Charity says to improve my work, Ada says to get a remote job, Chad said to add up my technical skills. And like I said, today I'll show you how AI does things a lot faster than you can ever imagine. And you'll be building your very first AI agent. I'll show you how to do that before we wrap up our session today. Okay? And I'll show you people. So what I want you to do is, if you want to get my slides, have the opportunity to go back, watch this recording, and you can also click on all these links, because I'm going to share a lot of amazing materials with you today. So make sure you fill the attendance. My colleagues would drop that in the chat from time to time. Okay, I have my colleague here, Deborah. Deborah is on the call. I also have Michelle. So make sure they're going to drop the links. Make sure you fill the attendance. Once you do that, you get all the materials I'll be sharing today. Now, I'm going to introduce you to a couple of people that were like you. They joined a session like this. They decided to start their journey in upskilling. And today, they've got amazing jobs in different countries, all starting out in career path that they didn't want to continue in. And the first person I'll share with you today is Pavel. Pavel is a Cameroonian. He has an educational background. He used to teach mathematics and physics to secondary school students in Cameroon. And Pavel wanted more. Okay, he didn't want to teach anymore. He wanted a better job, just like all of you have said. He wanted to upskill. He wanted to do more. So what did he do? He joined a session like this, just like you joined. He listened to me. I walked him through the career path you can take advantage of, how to upskill, and so on and so forth. And he decided to start his journey. Okay, we helped him tailor his CV. He joined all our mentorship sessions. And more importantly, when he had interviews, we prepped him for interviews. Okay, so he wanted to get a job in the healthcare space, but not doing bedside care. He wanted to get a job where he was an analyst in the hospital, helping the hospital understand different metrics within the patient's data and so on and so forth. All right. So he came to our data analytics program. He learned data analytics. And last year in March, Pavel landed a job as a healthcare data analyst with a company in the US, the Arizona Community Physicians in Tucson, Arizona in the US. And he got this job less than 3 months after completing his program with us. This is somebody who was a teacher back in Cameroon. Today, he's a healthcare data analyst in the US. And what changed for him? The singular reason, the singular fact that he decided to upskill. So that's one person. This is Lois. Lois was an accountant back in Nigeria. She also worked in procurement. She had no knowledge, no experience in tech. But what did she do? She decided to go for business analysis. And today, Lois works as a project manager with a company in the UK after completing the business analysis program. I'm going to play a couple of videos for you so you get to listen to these amazing professionals. All right, you have the link right here, but I won't be able to play everything. So make sure you fill the attendance so you get the slide. You can listen to these amazing professionals and you don't miss out on anything. Then you have Judith Ngozi. Ngozi had a background in customer service and also in HR, zero tech experience, joined our business analysis program. Ngozi got a job as a business analyst. But let me tell you the beauty about what Ngozi did. Ngozi worked for a company in the US, working remotely. So she earned phenomenal salary compared to her counterparts who were working as business analysts. And I'm going to play Ngozi's video. I want you to listen to Ngozi. She talked about, in just about 1 minute, okay, the decision she took to start her journey, and today she's where she is. Then you have someone like Oluwadamilare. Oluwadamilare also had no experience in tech. He joined our data analytics program, and today Oluwadamilare works as a sustainability data analyst with BAM in the UK. All right, and so many other professionals, so many others. And I'm going to play, maybe I'll play Judith's video. You get to listen to Judith. And you also have somebody like Olusegun. Olusegun worked as an operations manager with a company somewhere in Lagos, Nigeria. Olusegun decided to join our AI automation engineering program. And the same month, he joined last year, November 2025. He completed his program 2 months after, in January this year. And the same month when he completed his program with us, he landed a job as an AI automation engineer with a company in Canada. He worked remotely from Lagos. Nigeria. He got that job, earned amazing salary, and eventually he decided to set up his own AI consulting company. So this is Olusegun. This is the company in Canada, worked as an AI automation engineer, technical assistant. He worked there for 4 months from January to April this year. And then he went ahead to set up his own AI studio, an AI consulting company, helping other businesses to automate their processes. And these are amazing professionals. And I'll come back and show you exactly what they did. From Olusegun, who was an operations manager, to Judith, who was a customer service professional and had a background in HR, to Lua Damilare, who had no experience, to Lois, who had no experience. I'd walk you through exactly what they did and how you can also do the same. But in the meantime, I want you to listen to Lois, to Ngozi, just for the next 1 minute, and then I'll walk you through step by step. And I want you to get a pen, get a notepad, take things down, jot things down so you can take things away from today's session. What did these amazing professionals do that enabled them transition? All right, so let's listen to Judith very quickly. So I'll just click on this link. Like I said, it's a very short video, but I want you to hear from Judith, and I want you to hear exactly what she did. Okay, so that's Judith right there. I'm going to play the video. I'll play it and pause. If I play and you can hear the audio, just give me the thumbs up and then I'll continue playing. All right?
Hi, my name is.
If you can hear Judith, give me the thumbs up so I can continue playing. Okay, fantastic. So this is Ngozi. Judith. Ngozi is going to talk about how she moved, how she got a job in business analysis, working remotely, working from home for a company in the US. All right, so sit back, relax, listen to Judith, and I'll come back and tell you what Judith did, what Olusegun did, and all the other professionals, and how they were able to land remote jobs.
Hi, my name is Ngozi Adiremi. For a long time, I've been looking for a working from home kind of job. So I did my business analysis training with Analytics, and guess what? After my training, I started looking for a job, trying to get a working from home job, and now I got one. I just want to encourage you as a student of Analytics, or maybe you're aspiring to join Analytics for training. It's very good because when you're done, you will get a working from home job. Thank you. Hi.
That's Ngozi, short and straight to the point. That's Ngozi Aderemi. Judith, doing amazing stuff, currently works from home. And this is the beauty about working from home. Ngozi has kids, she has a family, and she wanted a job where she would have time for her family. She didn't have to go to the office every day of the week, and she got exactly what she wanted. All right, so the big question is, how did Judith and how did people like Olusegun, who also lived in Lagos, Nigeria, how did he get a job working for a company in Canada? And in Judith's case, how did she get a job working for a company in the US, working remotely? And I'll show you exactly what they did, how they landed their jobs. All right. Number one strategy is learning a high demand skill. If you want to get a job, if you want to open a shop today, you want to open a shop on a street with high foot traffic, a street where a lot of people visit. And when you open your shop right there, because it has high foot traffic, people will get into your shop. Okay, and that's exactly what you want to do as a professional. You want to learn high demand skills that are eligible for remote job opportunities. And what this simply means is, if you are in a career path that is in high demand, you make getting that job 10 times easier because employers are already searching for you and employers would find you, compared to you being in a career path that are not high in demand and you really don't have traffic of employers trying to hire you or trying to look for you, get you on board, and so on and so forth. So that was the very first thing they did. They got into high demand career path. And what are those career paths? I'll share them with you. Number one is the generative AI for data analytics. Number two is generative AI for business analysis and project management. And the third is generative AI for HR analytics. Okay, and for each career path, they all come with the beauty of getting high demand skills. For example, generative AI for data analytics. This is where you are learning how to use tools like Excel, like Power BI, and SQL. But this time around, you're not learning how to use Excel the conventional way everybody else uses Excel. You learn how to use AI assisted tools, Copilot, and so many other tools, AI-driven tools, to enable you to do things a lot faster. Build a dashboard in 2 minutes, writing prompts, and simply getting that dashboard done in 2 minutes rather than getting it done in 24 hours, 48 hours. All right, you are learning Microsoft Fabric. You are learning how to use tools like N8N to build workflows that helps you automate processes. And we're going to build one today. We'll build a workflow today. We'll build an agent, an employee. So rather than hiring an employee, we'll build one and we'll give that employee a task that they need to do and need to accomplish. And they would always accomplish that task for us. Okay, so how do you learn how to use those tools like Julius AI, Bricks AI, N8N, and so on and so forth? So as a generative AI for data analytics, as a professional who have these skills or who has these skills, your focus is on helping organizations make sense of the data that they have. If you work for a retail company, what's the product that sells the most? What location generates the highest profit margin? All right, what new locations should we possibly be looking to open up, new stores or new retail shops? And you get this data, analyze the data, and help the business understand and see from a data-driven perspective the decisions they need to take. So you are learning the foundations of generative AI for data analytics. You learn how to use Microsoft Excel, not the conventional way, but using the Copilot and other AI tools to do things a lot faster. You learn Power BI, learning how to use Power BI to build amazing dashboards, automating the dashboard process from your extraction of data to transforming to loading that data into your Power BI and creating your data model and eventually creating your reports. Scheduling the reports to go to your manager, go to the head of department, go to the head of division automatically without you doing anything. Okay, you learn AI, enterprise AI analytics and deployment. You learn modern AI tools for the data analyst. You learn AI automation, building an AI data analyst. That's building an employee that you can give a task. That employee does not sleep. They work overtime and ensure that they get things done. And of course, you also get to do a capstone project, which is summarizing everything you've learned and building a project during the AI hackathon. We have a hackathon ongoing at the moment where you compete with your contemporaries to build amazing projects. So that's the generative AI for data analytics. Then you have the generative AI for the business analyst and the project manager. So how do you leverage AI in project management? How do you ensure that if a company wants to build, a hospital wants to build a patient management system, and you are the project manager on that project, how do you leverage AI on the project? How do you ensure you can analyze the risk using tools like Rovo in Jira? So in Jira, when you learn Jira, which is a tool to track your project deliverables, how do you create reports, create dashboards, and send to management, showing the risk inherent within the project, the timelines, and so on and so forth, summarizing everything using AI. And as a business analyst, how do you identify issues within a process, inefficiencies within a process? When you look at a process from how it starts, A to B, identify the inefficiencies, okay, and also identifying the gaps within the process, leveraging AI and getting things done a lot faster. Because if you can identify the gaps in the process, it means that you can make that process better, optimize the process to make it a lot faster. So if this process from A to B takes 5 days to complete, a customer orders an item, before it goes through all the different steps within that process, it takes 5 days to get to the customer. You as a business analyst leveraging AI to ensure that rather than it taking 5 days, we can optimize, remove some of the inefficiencies, identify the gaps and eliminate those gaps, and optimize the process so that rather than taking 5 days, we can get the delivery to the customer in what? 24 hours. How do you get this done? Understanding project initiation and business case development with AI, knowing the foundations of business analysis and project management and how AI can be embedded into the process, project planning, requirements, and road mapping using AI, using the agile methodology on projects and delivering projects using AI, workflow modeling, workflow design with AI, monitoring, automation, and your reporting using AI, and of course, AI hackathon during your capstone project where you get to compete with other professionals. So you're learning how to use Copilot, NA10, Jira, but not Jira conventionally the way you'd learn, but using AI within Jira to summarize your project, identify the risk, create reports, automated reports to get to all the different stakeholders involved in the project. You learn ClickUp, Notion, My Map AI for your mapping, identifying issues within processes, and so on and so forth. And finally, you have generative AI for HR analytics. And the agent we're going to build today would focus a little bit on this. We're going to build an agent, a recruitment agent, an agent that can look at a CV, analyze the CV, identify if that candidate meets the qualification or the criteria. If they do, send them an email, book an interview, and get them on board. Let's interview them. All right. And if they don't meet the criteria, send them a rejection email and encourage them to apply for future roles. You won't do that yourself manually. You build the agents that will do that for you. An agent that doesn't sleep, an agent that works 24/7, and that agent will get the job done for you. We're going to build that and we'll see how it works and why having skills like this gives you the opportunity to get the best type of jobs available. So if you're a HR professional, you're a data professional, or you have no experience in any area, you don't have a job today, but you want to get a job. You don't want to get a job where you are doing the same thing people do today. You want to get a job that you do a little bit better and you can show some value that you bring into that company. Okay, so before we wrap up today, you know how to build your own AI agent, your recruitment agent that does the job for you while you sleep without lifting a finger. That job gets done. Everybody that applies to that job, the AI agent would handle the entire, recruitment process until time for interview. So you are learning how to use generative AI tools like ChatGPT, like Julius, Bricks AI as a HR analyst. You are learning Microsoft Excel, Power BI, using Copilot to make your work a lot faster, create your dashboards a lot faster. You also get to learn Microsoft Fabric, bringing all your tools into one environment and automating, a process in a way that from when your data comes in to where you create your reports and share with management, everything is done automatically. NA10, Microsoft Excel, SQL, and so on and so forth as a HR analytics professional who knows how to use AI. All right. So the typical timeline for all the programs I'll be sharing with you today is 2 months, 8 weeks, 6 weeks learning how to use AI to leverage these tools. And then you have your 2 weeks AI hackathon, your 2 weeks capstone project, where you get to build something on your own. And you only have live classes on Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So Saturdays, 3 hours, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Every other day, you have a self-paced component. Any day, anywhere, anytime, you can learn at your own convenience. And I'll show you what that looks like as we move on today. Now, remember, I'm walking you through a 5-step strategy on how these amazing professionals were able to get their jobs. Okay, how Pavel was able to get a job working in the healthcare space in the US. How somebody like Lois was able to get a job working for a company in the UK. Ngozi Aderemi working for a company in the US, working remotely. Oluwadamilare working for a company in the UK. And you also have somebody like Olusegun, Lagos, Nigeria, worked for a company in Canada where he worked remotely as well. Okay, I'm showing you the strategy on what they did. And number one strategy was what? Learning a high demand skill that is eligible for remote job opportunities. All right, and these are the 3 key areas you want to focus on. All the professionals I showed you, they focused on these 3 key areas. They learned the skill and they were able to do amazing stuff. And I'll be showing you one of the amazing stuff that they were able to build and how you can build yours using a platform called Lindy AI. If you've heard of Lindy AI before, give me a thumbs up. If you've not, give me a thumbs down. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Lindy AI. Beautiful. I like the fact that it's thumbs down, which means you'll be learning something new today. All right, so let's learn something new together. So we'll use Lindy AI to build an AI-powered employee, an employee that would do the job for us. So if I'm in HR today, I'm an employee in HR, right? And I'm a recruiter. I want to recruit talent. I want to recruit a data analyst. It takes time. When you put out your vacancy on LinkedIn, on Indeed, or your website, whatever platform, people apply. People that meet the criteria and people that don't. But what I want to do is create an employee that will be responsible for the entire screening process. When people apply, look at the CV, review the CV. If they meet my criteria, send them an email, schedule an interview, let's interview. If they don't, send them a rejection email using specific, prompts and so on and so forth. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and this handles all the job for me. Okay, so let's get started with that. Now, you might not be able to follow me step by step, but I want you to watch what I'm doing. We're going to interact as I build this, and I want you to also make sure that you feel the attendance. This is the importance of feeling the attendance. If you haven't, you want to feel, so that when you're trying to practice this on your own, you have the recording, you can always go back and get it done yourself. Okay, so we're going to go to Lindy. We're going to go to Lindy AI. So what I want you to do, if you go on Google and you just type Lindy, Lindy AI, okay, Lindy AI, just type that and you'd see Lindy pop up. Okay, www.lindy.ai. That's the platform we're going to leverage today. And like I said, I'll try to make it fast because of time, but I want you to follow me step by step. Now, this is you having skills. I want you to understand that what we are trying to do is you building the skills that position you as an exceptional talent when applying to jobs, trying to get remote jobs. This would also position you as an exceptional talent for those of you that want to get promoted, because you do things a lot faster, you do it a lot better. Okay, so once you click on this link, there's a process of you creating an account and so on. It's going to request for you to make some payments at some point, but you don't have to do that. You can use it for free. Okay, so you have a free trial period. It might require you to enter some card details. Make sure you use a card that you don't use normally, because for a lot of people, they forget that, oh, I'm subscribing using this card, only for them to get debited in the future. All right, so you don't want that to happen. Okay, so when you're starting the process, you'd see all of that. Use a card that you really don't use, so you can use the free account, and even if you forget to cancel, because there's no money in that card, you don't get debited. All right, and make sure you fill the attendance if you haven't. So I've already opened an account, so I'm just going to use the account that I've opened, Lindy. Okay, and when you open your account, it comes up like this. Okay, you'll see, how can I help? It's asking you to type in a prompt, so it helps with the creation of whatever agent you want to create and so on. I'll maximize this so you can see my screen a bit better. All right, so what do we want to create? Very simple. But what I'll do is I'm going to try to let's try to simulate what I want to do before we start doing it. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to create an agent, and we are saying that the agent we want to create is a technical recruiter. Okay, so technical recruiter, recruit talent for me. And what type of talent do I want to recruit? I want to recruit a data analyst. So I want to hire a data analyst into my organization, and I'm simply saying, I'm going to give you the JD of this data analyst, so the criteria that I want this data analyst to meet. And people would apply online. Okay, so we're going to put the vacancy online on different platforms: LinkedIn, Indeed, Glassdoor, and so on, CV Library, Total Jobs. It's going to be everywhere, and people would apply online. Okay, so when anybody applies online, applies to this role, the data analyst role, I want you as my technical recruiter to look at who applied, and I want you to do what? Review their CV. Review the CV. And once you review the CV, if the CV is good, which means it meets the criteria, I want you to do certain things for me. Like, I want you to send an email to book an interview. All right, I want you to send an email. I want you to book an interview. And I also want you to document the candidate's details, their name, their phone number, and so on. Now, if the CV is bad, which means the CV does not meet the necessary requirement, does not meet the criteria of the job, send a rejection email. Send a rejection email. And I want you to keep on doing this until we eventually get the right candidate for this job. So this is what we want to build using Lindy AI. Okay, so I'm going to go back to Lindy AI and let's start building. All right, let's start building. So one of the first things I'll do is go to where I have new charts, or click on the drop down, and I want to create a new workflow. Now, because I don't want to prompt to create this agent, I want to create it myself. I click on new workflow. And the moment I click on new workflow, it would ask me, what type of agent do I want to build? Okay, but I don't want to prompt. Remember, what do I want to do? I want to start from scratch. I want to build my agent from scratch. I want to build my employee from scratch. An employee that doesn't sleep, an employee that does the work for me day in, day out, Monday to Friday, Monday to Sunday, 24/7, and so on. So I click on start from scratch. And here I can start from scratch, okay? So what I'll do next is I'm going to change the name. It says new agent right here at the top left corner. I want to rename my agent, and I'll call this agent what? technical recruiter. Okay, so I can click on the drop down right here, and I'll click on what? Rename. And I'll just simply rename it to technical recruiter and hit enter. So that's the name of my agent. I don't need this box right here, the agent builder. I don't need it. So I'll close this so I have more space to play around with. All right. Now, what do I want to do? I want to select a trigger. Now, what's a trigger? A trigger simply means something must happen before another thing happens. Something must take place before another thing happens. For example, what must happen before my agent starts to act? Okay, that's quite funny, Salisu, right? What must happen before my agent starts to act? What's the prompt for my agent to take action? And in this case, my prompt is simply receiving an email, because the vacancy would put out there is a vacancy that people would need to send an email, and from that email we can start to screen and see who meets the criteria, who doesn't. So the email would come in. So when that email comes in, what do? The agent now starts to act. So the email is the trigger, the email is the prompt for the agent to take an action. Okay, so I'm going to click on this, select trigger. I'll just click on that. And what do I want my trigger to be? It's an email, Gmail, for example. There are so many different other emails, but I'm going to connect to what? Gmail. Okay, and what do I want when the email is received? So when I receive an email, okay, so email received. So I'll click on that. So this means when I receive an email, something should happen. The trigger is the reception of that email. So email received, I click on that. And at the right hand side, it would ask, specific type of questions. Do I want it to look at all my emails? But I want to add a filter. And the reason why I want to add a filter is simply because I don't want the agents looking through all my emails. I want it to look through the specific email that it should analyze. And I'll simply click on what? Filter events by this trigger. So I'll click on filter. At the moment I do that, I want to select property to filter on. So what's the property to filter on? I want it to filter on what? The subject of the email. Okay, let me take it a step back. Our trigger is an email. When the email comes in, the agent starts to act. Okay, however, I don't want it to act based on every single email that comes in. I want it to look at a specific type of email, which means I want to filter. Okay, so filter specific emails. And I'm saying filter emails based on what? If I click on this, based on the subject. So I click on subject. So which means the subject must contain something before the trigger takes place. Okay, the agent must contain something. All right, the subject must contain something, and in this case the subject must contain what? Data analyst. Remember, we are hiring for a data analyst. So this is where sometimes you'd see organizations saying, oh, when recruiting or when applying for this job, make sure you enter a specific type of text or something within the body or the subject of the email. So here I would say data analyst. So I'm simply saying any email that comes in that has data analyst, that should be the trigger for you to go into that email and carry out an action. All right, if we are following up to this point, and I can just click outside for that to close. Okay, if you are following up to this point, give me a thumbs up. If you are following up to this point, just give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. Fantastic, brilliant. So we are all on the same page. So I've created my trigger. Now, after creating the trigger, what's the next step? I now want to add my agent, my technical recruiter, what the technical recruiter needs to do when the email comes in, okay? And I'll do that by clicking on Enter Agent Step. enter agent step. And the moment I click on that, you'd see the agent. This is now the employee. This is my actual employee. So what should the employee do when the email is received? I want to enter a prompt, okay? I've already created the prompt. So at the end of my session, what I'll do is I'll send all the prompts that I'll use on this session today. In this session, I'll send all the prompts to you so you can also use it while building yours and you don't have any issues, all right? So I'll copy and paste my prompts and you see what the prompt looks like, okay? So I'll copy the prompt and I'll paste it here. So this is simply saying, let AI decide what to do until an exit condition is met. Prompts. What do you want this agent to do when this trigger happens? So I'm going to paste my prompt here. Control V. I've copied it and I've pasted. I'll read it out very quickly so you'll know what the prompt tells the agent to do. So the prompt is simply saying, when I receive an email with a subject line containing data analyst, or any variation related to data analyst job description, what action should happen? Automatically open and review the attached CV. Okay? And what's the evaluation criteria? Number one, experience, minimum of 3 years of work experience as a data analyst. Number two, skills, strong proficiency in Power BI, Excel, and SQL. And number three, location. Candidates should be based in Lagos, Nigeria. Overall fit, identify candidates who demonstrate strong analytical capabilities, relevant project experience, and clear communication skills. It's either a candidate is successful or not. So there's no in between. You're either successful or you're not successful. It's either a yes or a no. Okay, and that's the prompt I'm adding to my what? Agent. So I'm simply saying that when I receive an email with a subject line containing data analyst, remember we said candidates should type into the subject line data analyst when applying. Okay, so that's the prompt right there. We've created the very first set of actions the agent would need to take. Okay, I'll click outside again for that to close. Now, what's the next thing for us to do? Now, when the agent goes into the email, looks at the attachment, identify or evaluate based on the criteria, then something must happen. And what must happen? It's either a yes or a no, because we've told the agent that you can't have any in between. It's either the candidate is successful or not. It's either the candidate meets the criteria or not. Okay, so I'm going to add a condition for my agents to follow to say that, okay, when you review the CV, tell me, do they meet or they don't? If they don't, this is what I want you to do. If they do, this is what I want you to do. All right. So I'll click on this plus sign, which is add a step. And I want to add a what? A condition. So I'm going to click on condition. I want to add a condition. So click on condition. And here, you'd see the condition step right here underneath the agent. Okay. So I'll click on that. I'll click on define a condition. Okay. And I'm saying, define this condition to exit, for the agent to exit when the candidate is what? Unsuccessful, or when the candidate is what? Successful. So I'll use the first one, which is successful. So when the candidate is successful, I want something to happen. Okay, so I'm just typing in successful right here. Okay, and I'm going to click out of that. And you can see there's a successful condition. Okay, so I'm saying that when the agent reviews and that CV is successful based on the criteria, something should happen. But I'm going to define what should happen later. I'm just going to drag this to the right. Okay, and I'll add another condition for unsuccessful. So I'll click on this, add another step, and I want to add a what? A condition. Click on that. And you'd see the second condition right here. I'll click on it and I'm saying I want to define this condition to exit once unsuccessful. So I just type on unsuccessful right there. I click outside again, and I'm going to take this to the left. Okay, so I'm simply saying when the agent has reviewed, an email has been received from an external candidate. That candidate has applied for the data analyst role. You reviewed, the agent should then review that CV, go to the email, review the CV. If the candidate is successful, something should happen. If the candidate is unsuccessful, something should also what? Happen. All right. So I'm going to define the unsuccessful. Let's define. So when a candidate is unsuccessful, what do we want our agents to do? Type into the chat. Let me know what do you want the agent to do when the candidate is unsuccessful. Type into the chat what you think the agent should do. If somebody has applied, you review their CV and they're unsuccessful, they don't meet the criteria, what should the agent do? Olatubosun says, send a rejection email. Let's get more feedback. Stanley says, send a rejection email. Fantastic. I all agree with you. Koi says, send a rejection email and encourage them to apply for future positions. Fantastic. Let's do that. Let's tell our agent to send a rejection email. Okay. So I'll come right here and I would say, I'll click on the three dots. So when it's unsuccessful, I'll click on the three dots and I want to replace this condition. Okay, so when it's unsuccessful, what should happen? I'll click on what? Replace. And I want to send an email, send a rejection email. You've all said that. So I'll go back to Gmail. Okay, Gmail. And I'll scroll to where I have send email. Okay, send email, and I'll click on send email. So when it's unsuccessful, send an email. But again, I need to define a couple of things at the right hand side. Okay, so send email, and yes, the agent should identify, go to the CV, pick out the email from there, come up with a proper, subject and so on. But for the body of the email, I want to use a prompt because I don't just want the agent to decide on what to do. I want to enter a prompt. So I'll click on auto for the body. I want to select what? Prompt AI. So I want to prompt the agent to say something specific. And I'm going to copy that. Again, it's a long prompt. Okay, it's a long prompt, but this is also where you get to learn prompt engineering, because the type of prompt you use determines the quality of the results you get. And that's why when you're learning these things during your program, you also get to learn prompt engineering. How should you structure your prompts? In what manner? What comes first? What comes next? So that you get the very best results. Okay, so I'm going to copy. When it's unsuccessful, I'll copy the prompt, I'll paste it, and I'll read it out again so you see what I've written. Okay, so I'll click on that and I'll paste. All right, so I'm simply telling my agent to say that if a candidate does not meet the selection criteria after their CV has been reviewed, for example, they lack 3 years of experience, they are not proficient in Power BI, Excel, SQL, or they are not based in Lagos, okay, what should you do? Send a personalized rejection email. The tone of the email should be what? Respectful, empathetic, and also professional. If you've joined late, you've not really missed anything. The session is recorded. Make sure you fill the attendance so you get the recording. All right, so just follow up Olubusola. We are creating an agent, a technical recruiter that will do the recruitment process for us, and we don't have to struggle ourselves. All right, so email structure: greet the candidate by first name, acknowledge and thank them for applying to the data analyst role. Mention that after careful review of their application, they were not selected to move forward. Give a brief reason For example, location mismatch, limited experience, or insufficient technical proficiency. Encourage them to apply for future roles as advised by COE. Encourage them to apply for future roles if appropriate, and on a positive and encouraging note. So I've written this prompt so that my agents would know the tone and the structure of the email so that it sends it based on that structure. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that. I'll click on the outside again, and I've told my agent what to do when it receives that email, and it has done the review and the candidate is unsuccessful. All right, now, what if the candidate is successful? What should happen? We want our AI to do one thing first of all, okay? Identify I'll show you what it looks like. So extract the information of that candidate. So I've created a sheet already, and I would also encourage you to create a similar sheet so that you can get your AI to extract. Okay, so this is called the DA. I created this myself, okay? DA interview shortlist. It has the full name, location, phone number, email, and a brief summary about the candidate. A brief summary about the candidate. So extract information, document it right here for me, get me the candidate's phone number, their location, their email. And after you've done this, I want you to now send an email to them, inviting them for an interview. Okay, send an email to them, inviting them for an interview. So the first thing I want my agent to do is to fill in this information for me: the candidate's full name, the candidate's location, the candidate phone number, and so on. All right. So if the candidate is successful, what should happen? I come to condition, click on the three dots right here, and I click on what? Replace. And I want to replace with what? Google Sheets. So I click on Google Sheets because that particular spreadsheet is on Google Sheets. And I want Google Sheets to do what? Append row. Add a row to my Google Sheets for me with those information or those details that I've highlighted. All right, so I'm going to click on append row. And the moment you do that, you would see, the details of what the append row would give to you in your Google Sheet. So here, for your spreadsheet ID, you need to pick up the ID of that spreadsheet and paste it here. Okay, pick up the ID. And they've told you what your ID is or how to pick up the ID. It's found in the URL between this and that. So what I'll just simply do is I'll go back to my spreadsheet. I'll go to the URL and I want to copy. So after /spreadsheets/D, you have the ID. So you see /spreadsheets/D/. I just copy everything from where I have and I stop just before the final slash. That's my ID. Okay, that has been written for you in your agent will tell you that this is how to copy, this is what it is. You can just follow my direction when watching the video later. Okay, copy the ID. So I select that and I'll right click and copy, and I'll go back to my agent and I'll paste this right here, select manually, set manually, and then I'll paste Control V. So I paste the ID of my spreadsheet. All right, and then I'll go to my sheet name. Now the sheet name is what you have here. If you go back to your spreadsheet, is what you have here on the tab. So you can see this one says sheet one. Okay, so I'm just simply going to go back to Lindy and I'll come here under sheet name and I'll simply set manually and I'll type sheet one. Okay, and that's all I need to do. So what I've said right now is if a candidate is successful, extract the information, go to this spreadsheet with this ID and do what? Append the row. on sheet 1, the full name, the location, and so on and so forth. And that's simply what I've done. So I'll come in here, I'll click on the outside again, and I want to add an additional step, which is to send an email to invite that candidate for an interview. Invite the candidate for what? An interview. So I'll click on this add step, and I want to add my final step, which is perform an action. So click on perform an action. This time around, I want to send an email. Okay, and I'll click on what? Gmail. And I'll look for where I have send email. Send what? Email. And I click on that. So now I'm saying that once you've reviewed and the candidate is successful, append a row to this my sheet with the details of the candidate and then send an email to that candidate. But again, I'll go to the body of my email. Remember, I want to prompt my agent on the structure of the email and how it should sound. So I'll come to the body, I'll click on that. I want to select prompts, okay? Prompt AI. So I want to write a prompt. I'll copy the prompt and paste again. Remember, I have the prompts right here. I'm going to send the prompts to you. Make sure you fill the attendance. That's the only way you get all the information I'll be sharing. So Control V to paste. All right. And this is what the prompt says. It says, if a candidate meets the selection criteria, 3+ years as a data analyst, proficient in Power BI, Excel, SQL, and based in Lagos, send a personalized success email inviting them to a scheduled meeting. Tone of the email, warm, professional, and enthusiastic. Email structure, greet the candidate by first name, thank them for applying, and let them know that their profile has been shortlisted. Briefly highlight what stood out. For example, relevant experience, strong technical skills, etc. Invite them to share a preferred date and time for a virtual meeting and close on a positive note. And I'm going to click outside. I have my agents ready to go. Okay, my agent is what? Ready to go. And this is what I'm going to do next. So what I'll do next is I want to test my agent. I want to be sure that the agent works. So because of time, I'll send in a wrong email. Let's see what happens. An email that shows that the candidate does not meet the criteria. Let's see what happens if it actually works. So once you are done creating the agent, what do? I'll turn on. And there's so many more things you can do with this. So many more. We don't have enough time. This is not a full live training class where I'm just showing you the importance of having skills to do things a little bit differently from what your counterparts can do. Because remember, you having the skills using AI tools, you would get those opportunities ahead of your counterparts, your contemporaries, and also people that, ordinarily you should get better opportunities than getting remote work opportunities and so on. You don't want somebody who has the skills to get those opportunities ahead of you. Okay. So I'm going to turn on my agent. So I'll click on turn on. So now my agent is on and it's live and working. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to send in a CV. Okay, I'll send in a CV and let's see what comes out of that CV. Okay, so we'll test it and see how it works. We'll test the CV and let's see how the CV works. Just give me 1 second and then we'll get right into it. Okay, so this is the first CV, the CV that does not meet the criteria. The reason why the CV doesn't meet the criteria is because, anyways, the agent will tell us. Okay, the agent will tell us the reason why. So let's test it and see. So I'll open up my email. Okay, I'll open up my email and I want to send an email to, okay, let's send an email. Let's apply to that job. All right. So I want to send an email. So I'll send the email to my agent, and the email that I used is adeza@amdari.io. Okay, and the subject, remember the subject must have data analyst. So I'm saying data analyst application, data analyst application. Okay, so hello HR, please see below my CV for your reference. Okay, kind regards. So, and then I'd upload my CV. All right, so let's upload and let's see. So I'd upload the CV and I'll send this, and let's see if the agent does anything about that. Okay, so let's send this CV to the agent, and I'm going to come back here. All right, I'll come back here and see what happens. Okay, so remember, this is our agent. We're going to come back and see if we receive anything from the agent. So we've sent the email. It showed me that the email has arrived. Let me show you what it looks like. Okay, so this is the email. It has entered and said, hello HR, please see below my CV for your reference. So let's see what the agent would do. Let's see what the agent would do. Okay, so the agent has responded. So this is the email that shows that I've applied. Okay, so you can see that right here. Hello HR, please see below my CV for your reference. Okay, now this is the email that I used to send that email to apply to the job. Okay, so let's open and see the response we've gotten. So this is our agent. This is me not doing anything. I've created the agent and somebody has applied. I just used a different email to apply. And based on the criteria that we've given to the agent has responded to say, hi, Michael, because the CV I used to apply, let me show you that. The name on the CV is Michael. Okay. The name on the CV is Michael. Let me show you. So that's the CV I used to apply, Michael Adetayo. Okay, Michael Adetayo. So you can see that right there. All right. So let's read. Hi, Michael. Thank you for taking the time to apply. Thank you for taking the time to apply for the data analyst role at Amdari and for sharing your CV with us. After carefully reviewing your application, we regret to inform you that we will not be moving forward with your candidacy at this time. While your technical skills and experience are genuinely impressive, our current requirement is for a candidate who is based in Lagos, who remembers the criteria where we identified that the candidate should be based in the UK, should be based in Lagos, Power BI experience, Excel, SQL. If you remember, give me the thumbs up. If you remember, give me the thumbs up. But for this candidate is where, let me open the CV one more time. This candidate, Michael Adetayo, is where? Is in the UK. Michael Adetayo is in the UK. Okay, and that is why our agent is simply saying, hey, you don't meet the criteria because you are in Lagos, Nigeria. And as your profile indicates, you are currently located in the United Kingdom. We are unable to proceed with your application for this particular role. We truly appreciate your interest in Amdari and we encourage you to keep an eye on future openings. Koi, if you remember, Koi said we should encourage them to apply for future roles. We would love to hear from you again should a role arise that aligns with your location and expertise. We wish you all the very best. in your job application, future endeavors. You have a strong profile, and we have no doubt that you will find a great opportunity soon. We are ending with a positive tone. If you remember, if you go back to the AI agent, let's go back to the AI agent. If you remember, if it's unsuccessful, we entered a prompt that said what? End on a positive and encouraging note. And you can see that clearly. The agent telling us that what? We wish you all the best in your job search and future endeavors. You have a strong profile, and we have no doubt that you'll find a great opportunity soon. This is you doing the work that would have taken you hours upon hours or days upon days, but our agent is doing something for us. Our agent is working day in, day out, getting the job done and giving us the right type of results. We go to sleep and the agent does the work for us. Okay, so when you are building yours, I want you to test with the right CV. Because of time, I can't go through every single thing. I want you to test with the right CV. Okay, so this is a CV of somebody in the UK. Get a CV of somebody in Lagos, Nigeria, and see the magic the AI agent would also perform. All right, if you enjoyed what you've learned so far, you think it's amazing, give me a thumbs up. If you've enjoyed what you've watched so far, you think it's amazing, give me a thumbs up. This is the only reason why you would get the skills or have the skills to do something better than that contemporary who is also competing for the same type of job you are competing for. And when you have this type of skills, you find yourself in a position where you are applying for the best type of jobs. And that's simply what these professionals did. They had the right skills. Remember, Pavel had the right skills, worked for a company in the US. You remember Benga, an operational manager in Lagos, Nigeria, got a job working remotely for a company in Canada. The reason why he got that job in Canada, working remotely, was simply because he had the skills to show the employers, I can do the job for you and I've done it before. The second step, that's the first strategy, okay? And that's how your agent would look like. I want everybody, if you're going to build your own agent at the end of today's session, also give me a thumbs up. So I know you're going to build yours and do some amazing stuff. You test with the right CV, with the wrong CV, see how it pops up and so on. Fantastic, brilliant. Now, what's the second step? What do you need to do if you want to land a job working remotely? You must learn the skills the right way. So strategy number one is having the right skills. So if you are a HR professional and you have the skills, you know how to use Lindy AI, you have your other colleague who is doing it manually, they have to download the CV, look at the CV, they're going to waste so much time. While you would just sit down, at the end of the day, you go to your sheet, see how many bookings the AI agent has booked for you in terms of interviews. You go have your interviews, you recruit the right candidates. Okay, so you must have the right skills. The second thing is you must learn the skills the right way. So what I've shown you today is fantastic skills, but if you don't learn it the right way, you won't know how to do the job. And learning the right way simply means you learning by doing the job itself. So if you want to get a job as a generative AI analyst, as an AI HR analyst, you must do the job of an AI HR analyst. You must do the job of an AI business analyst, AI project manager, AI data analyst. That's the best way to learn. So you are learning by getting your hands dirty, by doing the work itself. So on day one, when you get the job, you know exactly what to do and you know how to do the job. And the way to get this done is learning in a project-based environment, which means learning by doing the work. If you want to play football, you want to be added to the World Cup team, the team that have gone to the World Cup, okay, what do? You don't learn by watching videos and analyzing the football matches. You learn by going to the pitch, playing the ball, practicing, getting tackled, getting injured, making mistakes, get shouted on by the coach, that's how you learn. You'll be a lot different from the candidate who is just sitting in front of the TV and analyzing and watching football matches. You know how to play the match a lot better than that candidate. And that's simply what we mean by learning in a project-based environment, which means learning by doing the work. And when you learn the work, you learn by doing the work. What do? You must showcase your work in a portfolio. I'll show you what a portfolio looks like. So you see the agents that I've built. Let me show you something on LinkedIn very quickly. Okay, so I'm going to take you to LinkedIn, and I want to show you something very quickly, and then I'll come back, okay, so I don't lose track of my thoughts. So I'm going to show you something of people that have built amazing stuff. Okay, they built amazing stuff, and they post what they built online. Let me see if I can find a few. This is Joel, for example. Joel built this amazing dashboard and he posted. All right, you'd see people building amazing stuff. This is Queen Esther. She built this, took screenshots, and also posted. Okay, I'll see if I can find more. So remember, I told you we have a hackathon, ongoing at the moment, and that's why you're seeing a lot of stuff relating to hackathon. So when you build, you must have evidence of what you built by posting and showcasing to the whole world. All right, this is also Olarinwaju, built a dashboard, posted it online, and that's how you showcase what you know how to do and what you've also been able to build. Very important. And I'm going to come back to this eventually. You can see Queen Esther is saying, I just entered the Analytics Business Hack AI-thon, and I'm officially competing in the AI Automation Engineering track. Okay, out of the 5 AI-powered tracks, this is the one I chose because I'm genuinely excited about building solutions that make work easier and smarter through automations. And this is Queen Esther building something and posting to showcase what she's built. You must always show the world what you can do, because nobody cares about you if you can't show them what you've done. Remember, like I said, employers don't care about what you can do. They care about what you have done. And I'll show you what a portfolio looks like. When you build all these amazing workflows, amazing agents, you must have evidence that you've done them before. All right, so this is how you must learn. Strategy number 2, learn the right way. Learn by doing the work and also showcase that work to the whole world. So you work on 10 to 15 projects across different industries, different sectors, and this gives any employer the confidence. When they look through your portfolio, they are confident that you know how to do the job because you've done it before. Imagine the AI you just created, what you just created in a few minutes ago. Our technical recruiter, you create a video, for example, show the workflow, document what you've done, add it to your portfolio. Anybody who sees that would know that if I hire these candidates and I bring them into my company, I know they can build automated workflows. They can do jobs a lot faster because I can see that they've done it already. And these are the questions you get during your interviews. And that's why people get remote jobs, not because you applied 1 million times. No, if you apply 1 million times, you don't have the right skills, you won't get called for an interview. Strategy number 3 is gaining work experience, foreign work experience. That's strategy number 3, gaining, foreign work experience. This simply means if you want to get a job in Canada, you must show that you have done that job with a company in Canada. It's as simple as that. If you want to get a job with a company in the US, you must show that you have done that job with a company based in the US. And this is what it looks like. Remember Pavel. I'm going to take you to Pavel's LinkedIn profile. Okay, this is Pavel, who currently works for a company in the US. I'll take you to Pavel's profile and I'll show you exactly what that means. Now, if I go to Pavel's profile and you scroll down to Pavel's work experience, he currently works as a data analyst, which is he works as a healthcare data and reporting analyst, okay, with the Arizona Community Physicians in Tucson, Arizona in the US. Prior to that, where did he work? He worked with Analytics. As a what? As a data analyst on contract and as a data analyst on internship. Now, this simply shows this employer that Pavel has worked in that capacity before. He has done that job before. And if you can show any employer that you've done the job before, especially working in the same country, doing a job for a company that is based in the same country you want to get that job, you increase your chance of landing that job. So imagine you say you've done that job for Tenalytics. Tenalytics is registered, operates in Alberta in Canada and also London in the UK. It shows and gives that employer the impression that you can do that job for them as well. And of course, that's simply because you know how to do the job and you've done it before. I'll show you another very quick example, and then we go back and I'll show you what a portfolio looks like. So I'll show you this amazing professional. Her name is Ramat. Ramat currently works for the NHS in the UK. And prior to that, she worked as a business analyst consultant. So before she got this job as a business architect with the NHS in the UK, she could showcase that she had worked as a business analyst consultant with Analytics in the UK. So what this means is very clear, and it means only one thing. It shows you that it positions you as that candidate who has the experience because you've done it for a company before, and not just any company. You want to get a job for a company in the US, and you are showing that all your experience are for companies in Nigeria or in Africa, you'd struggle to get an interview. All right. But when you show that you have experience for a company, with a company in the US or with a company in Canada or with a company in the UK, you stand a stronger chance of landing that interview and getting the job. Okay. That's how you showcase that you've gained foreign work experience. And all the projects you've worked on become your experience. You've done your AI recruitment agent, your technical talent recruiter, you built that. It becomes part of your work experience. When you go to the interview, they ask you questions, or tell me about a time you have leveraged AI to improve a process. You talk about the time when I worked with Analytics. I worked as an AI HR analyst, AI data analyst, AI project manager. I built a technical AI recruiter that helped us schedule all our interviews for new candidates, that also helped us identify candidates that were not ideal for the role and automated the entire workflow. This reduced the time it took to hire candidates from 2 weeks to just a few hours. So we hired candidates a lot faster because I was able to build that AI agent. That's how you showcase what you can do during interviews. All right. And I'll show you what your portfolio looks like very quickly. So if I click on this link, and this is how you gain experience. All the projects you complete in class, they become part of your work experience. And then you must have a portfolio. So if I click on this link, it takes me to this portfolio, and I can interact with any portfolio right here. Okay, so this is a smoking health analysis. You created a dashboard analyzing how smoking affects different parts of your organ, your lungs, your liver, and so on and so forth. And the beauty about this is not just a picture. Any recruiter can interact with this. If they come right here, because the link to your portfolio would be on your CV, it would also be on your LinkedIn profile. If anybody, just give me 1 second. If anybody clicks on this link, it takes them to the project. It takes them to the project, and they can interact with everything you've done. Okay, they can interact with everything you've done. All right. So I want to see how smoking affects the liver. This is the heart. I want to see how smoking affects the liver. I come right here and I click on this and it changes. The kidney, I click on the kidney. The lungs, I click on the lungs, and you can see the total number of patients, the average age, average BMI, and so on and so forth. This is an analysis created by somebody like you who had no experience and no knowledge. They joined the generative AI for data analytics, and they're building these amazing dashboards. And the recruiter can come right here and see what you've done. And by doing that, they know you are the right candidate for the job. Okay. This is also a project, brain tumor distribution analysis. If I click on this, for example, it takes me to this particular report, and I can click and interact. And I can see that this was built using Power BI, but not your conventional Power BI report. And for anybody who can build this, I know that they have the skills to build it for me. So I'm not telling you what I can do. I'm showing you what I've done. And this is what your portfolio would look like. So grade 1 cancer, brain tumor, 2,428 patients. The average age is 51 years old. Average tumor size, and so on, the tumor type distribution. I can click on grade 2 to see. And it's interactive. It changes. I click on grade 4. It changes. And that's the amazing part. You're showing what you've done in a way that people can interact with it. And when you get my slides at the end of today, you click on this link, you can interact with it the same way I interact with it. And that's exactly the way recruiters, hiring managers would interact with what you've done and see how good you are before they bring you into an interview. That's strategy number 3. First strategy, high demand skills. Second strategy, learn the right way by learning in a project-based environment and by building a portfolio. You've seen what a portfolio looks like. Strategy number 3, gain foreign work experience. Now we go to strategy number 4. You must know where to apply and how to apply. And what we do for you is we show you the platforms you probably have never seen before, where to apply to land these jobs. And more importantly, we show you how to apply to the hidden job market. Now, the hidden job markets are jobs that are not posted online, on LinkedIn, on Glassdoor, on CV Library, on Jobberman, and so on. No, on Flex Jobs, on JobGether. You don't see these jobs on these platforms, but you would know how to target those organizations, and you show them what you can do, and they invite you for an interview. A lot of people don't know how to do this. And when all you do is to apply to jobs on job boards, you stand a 40% chance of getting that job, because only 40% of jobs are gotten by applying to jobs. The other 60% are gotten through referrals, networking, the hidden job market, and so on and so forth. And that's where we focus on ensuring that you know this other 60% and you know where to apply and how to apply. There was somebody who I mentored, and I told him, look, you've been applying to jobs, you're in Nigeria, you want to get a job in the US. Once you apply and they can identify this application is from the US, is from Nigeria, forget it, you're not going to get called for an interview. This is what you need to do. Rather than applying, take this step, target the recruiter, target the company, and show what you can do and the value you can bring to them based on the research you've done about the company. Okay, this is a full live session where I'll walk you through the steps for 2 hours, showing you the type of message to send, how to structure your portfolio, how to structure your proposal, and that's what gets you the interview. And once you can show them that this is what you've done and what you can do for them, you get the interview and you get the job. That was how Benga was able to get his job. And I'm still going to play Benga's video for you so you get to listen to him. All right. So that's strategy number 4, how you apply, where to apply, knowing the right places to put in your job application determines if you get a job or not. And finally, number 5, you must remember, never forget that you would always need a reference to keep that job. So any company in the US or in the UK or in Canada would want to know if you are the right person for the job. They are always skeptical of hiring people from Africa, people from Nigeria, and so on and so forth. So they want to be sure you have worked with a reputable organization. You have the skills you say you have, you are a professional, and you can get the job done. And that's where we come in by providing a reference for you. Because when you get that offer, before you solidify the role, they'll need to reach out to somebody you've worked with before and say, hey, we're trying to hire these candidates. We want to be sure they can do this, this, and that, or they have done this, this, and that, or they're the right candidates. So they do a background check on you. And this is what a reference looks like. This is Ahmed. Ahmed joined our data analytics program. He got a job with the NHS as a health informatics support worker. And this is what a reference looks like. This came in June last year. Using this as an example, sending me the email, Mr. Deza Suleiman, Analytics, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. The above named has been offered the post of health informatics and support worker, and he has given us the permission to approach you for a reference. I would be grateful if you could let me have your opinion regarding his suitability for the post by completing the attached reference request form. If I say and I send back to the NHS in the UK and say that Ahmed had a bad reputation when he worked with us, we had to let him go, or he wasn't professional, he wasn't punctual, we give the wrong reference, you can't keep that job. It's impossible. So the right reference gets you the right opportunity. And this is what a reference looks like, essentially. Every recruiter, every company would always do their background check. Okay, and these are the 5 strategies you must take if you want to land a job very fast, get that promotion in the office. And I'll summarize again, number 1, using this. I'll summarize using the learn, package, and apply strategy. So the first thing is you learn. Remember, you learn your high demand skills: generative AI for data analytics, generative AI for HR analytics, generative AI for business analysis, and project management. Once you have the right skills, employers are already looking for you. Number 2, you want to learn the right way. In a project-based environment, number 1, and also by building a portfolio to showcase what you've done to the world that you're the right person for the job. Number 3 is to gain foreign work experience, to showcase to that employer that you've done that job before for a company in the same country. And because of that, I am positioned to do the same job for you. Number 4, you want to ensure that you know where to apply and how to apply, not just applying on job boards. That's 40% of the opportunities. You have other strategies for the extra 60%. And number 5 is your reference. If you've gotten an offer and there is no reputable organization that can vouch for you, you would lose that offer. These are the strategies. And the way we position this is learn, package, and apply. Package simply means presenting and positioning you as the best candidate for the job. So we work on your CV for you. We revamp your CV for you, and we show you how to tailor your CV to multiple more applications. We help you gain work experience. You gain Canadian work experience when you work with us. You also gain UK work experience because Analytics is registered in both the UK and also in Canada. And of course, we help with your LinkedIn optimization, building a portfolio. You join our mentorship sessions that happens every Thursdays. And this is where myself, the co-founder, other professionals, industry experts would come in, show you what to do, how to apply, hold your hand, ask questions, give you all the answers you need in terms of you not making the same mistakes that we made because we've gone ahead of you. All right. When you have an interview, we prep you for that interview. And of course, I talked about the job reference already. And then apply. Knowing where to apply, how to apply, gives you access to job opportunities that your contemporaries have access to. Okay, so you tap into both the paid job boards. We send these jobs to you. We've vetted the job. We know that these are the right type of jobs you can get into. And then we also show you how to get other opportunities, even when those jobs are not advertised. All right. And that's what gets you the job at the end of the day. Okay. So I'm going to show you, I want you to listen to Olusegun. Olusegun, remember, worked as an operations manager in Lagos, worked for a company in Canada, got opportunities in Canada, made a lot of money, set up his own business. Okay, and I want you to listen to him. It's just for 2 minutes, and I'll show you how you can start today. So I'll take questions from you, how to start. And for those of you that have questions for me, I'll be very happy to answer all your questions. Remember, if you haven't filled the attendance, this is the last chance for you to do that. So if I click on this link, it's going to take us to Olusegun.
Hi everyone, my name is Olusegun.
I want you to listen to Olusegun and how Olusegun was able to get this job. Okay, and I'll probably show you Olusegun's LinkedIn as well. You know, currently he set up his own business, he's the CEO of his own company, but he all started out with zero work experience. So let's hear Olusegun and how he was able to transition to building amazing automation using AI.
Hi everyone, my name is Olusegun Agbalade, and if anyone had actually told me a year ago that I'll be working in tech, building AI automations, I honestly would have actually laughed it out. I started my career in accounting with zero tech background. I had curiosities, I had a lot of self-doubt, but I had this constant feeling that I wanted more. So, and for wanting more will not actually get me there. So I told myself that I needed a structure, I needed guidance, and I needed a clear path in which the analytics business gave to me. Over 11 months, I moved from data analysis to data science, and now AI automation engineering. It wasn't pretty, to be sincere, it wasn't pretty. There were days I felt behind, there were days I wanted to quit. But with the guidance of my tutor, great tutor, Abdullah Musa, I kept showing up. I kept building projects. And I shared most of those projects on LinkedIn. That changed everything. LinkedIn became my proof of work. It became my portfolio. It became my voice. People could actually see on my profile what I was building, not just read on my CV what I was building. Eventually, it paid off. I landed the tech role not by luck, but by skills that I've gathered over time. So if you're actually watching this and you feel stuck, hear me clearly. Don't give up. Growth is slow before it's visible. Stay consistent because it works. Thank you, the analytics business, for granting me that platform to scale high. Thank you very much.
So that's Olusegun. I promise I'm going to take you to Olusegun's profile. Let me see if I can find Olusegun Agbolade. So that's Olusegun right there. Okay, Olusegun. And if you go through his profile, if I go all the way down, you'd see where he completed his AI automation engineering program with us. He got his certificate in January 2026, this year. And immediately after he finished, he got this job as an AI automation engineer, working for this company in Canada, working remotely. He got amazing salary for that. Now, 4 months after his contract, he set up his own company as the founder of Luxeron AI Studio, where he helps other companies to automate their processes and so on and so forth. Okay, and if you look through Olusegun's post, you see where he documented amazing stuff, what he was building and the amazing things he could do and so on. That was when he was learning. All right. So if you scroll all the way down, you get to see all these things you see. These are AI generated content that Olusegun built himself. And this was somebody who was an operations manager, had no clue. All right. You can see I built an AI receptionist for a skincare med spa. Okay. So, and these are the things you'd also get to learn how to build. All right. Olusegun learned all those skills during the program itself, and you can also learn the same. All right. So, how do you start your journey? For someone like Olusegun, how do you start your journey and how do you get to where you want to get to? And I've asked this question so many times, and I would ask you, are you comfortable where you are? All right. Are you comfortable where you are? Type in a yes or no. Are you comfortable where you are right now? Okay. For a lot of people, the plan is always, I need to get better opportunities. All right. So are you comfortable where you are right now? I want you to type a yes or a no into the chat. A yes or a no into the chat. Yes or no. Yes or no. Are you comfortable where you are? Yes or no. Just type in the chat. No, no. God's power says no. Peter says no. Prince says no. No. Ademola says no with multiple O's. And of course, I agree. We all want better. We all want better. We all want that promotion. We all want to work remotely. We all want to do amazing stuff. We are really not okay where we are. All right. And the only way you can get things started, get a better career path, move into a better career path, want more. Like Ahmed said, I want more. I want to get better opportunities. I want to get that remote job. When I see other people talking about how they work remotely, working for companies abroad, I want to also be able to say the same. We have a cohort starting on the 4th of July. That's the next cohort that commences on the 4th of July. And we have an amazing discount, early bird discount for those who would want to start their journey. All right. For those who want to start their journey, we have an amazing discount for you. I'm going to walk you through how you can start your journey today. And we'll take questions, I'll take answers, questions and answers before we wrap up. All right. So the original amount of any of the programs that we have to offer is 250,000. That's the typical amount you'd have to pay. But because we are running the early bird discount right now, rather than paying 250,000, you get a whopping 40% discount where you get to pay only 150,000 naira. This is a 40% discount. And to even make it more easily accessible, easier for you to start your journey, you don't have to pay 150,000 once. You get to make your payments in multiple installments. As little as 50,000 gets you into the program. So you pay 50,000 to get started, and then you pay the subsequent amount as you get into the program. All right. And that's the amazing discount. So first of all, you have a 40% off. Secondly, you have a flexible payment plan. However, this is not available for everyone. It's available for just 10 people. We have 10 slots available. I have 10 slots from this session, and I'll be tracking until we have those 10 slots gone. And I'm going to walk you through how you can also get your session started as well. So for those of you who want to start your journey, just like Olubenga did, just like Pavel did, like Ngozi did, you listen to those videos. How can you start today? All right. So I'll show you how to get started. Once you've done that, once you've secured your spot, you are one of the first 10 people. You're going to get an automated email sent to you, a confirmation that you've registered. That confirmation would have a link directing you to your dashboard. Okay, so you get access to your dashboard. I'll show you what the dashboard looks like before we leave here today. And once you get access to your dashboard, you have access to your learning materials. ahead of when the class starts on the 4th of July, 2026. And you can also send me a DM to this number. Once you've made payment, you can take a screenshot, send a DM, just to say, oh, I've made payments, this is done, and so on and so forth. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to start. For those of you that want to join the July cohort, 10 people from this call, that's all we need to take advantage of the discount we have available. So my colleagues are sending the link to the chat. You see the link, programs.analyticsbusiness.ca. Once you get right there, you'd see all the different programs, okay? The program I talked about today, AI for business analysis and project management. There's AI for social media and content creation, AI for the HR analytics, AI for data analytics. And as long as you select any program from here, you get the discount if you're one of the first 10, and you also have the opportunity to pay in installments. All right. So let's say I want to go for AI for data analytics. I click on enroll now. Okay, enroll now. And then you can sign up with Google. You can create an account by typing in your email yourself manually. You can also do that. I'm just going to click sign up with Google. Okay. Let's see how that plays out. Once you've done that, it will take you to how you can go ahead and make payments. Now, one other amazing thing I want to share, apart from the 40% discount you have, where you get to pay 150, you can pay in 3 installments of 50, 50, 50. If you make a one-time payment, which means I have the money, I don't want to pay in 3 installments, or I want to be committed. Because for some people, commitment means I'm making my payment today. I want to be committed. I know I have paid, so I start my journey, complete the journey, and so on. You want to make a one-time payment. You don't pay 150. You get an additional 30K off, and you get to pay only 120,000 naira. You're making a one-time payment. All right. So it's also for the first 10 people that take advantage of that. So if you make a one-time payment, you pay 120. If you select 3 monthly payments, you pay 150 discounted. And once all those slots are gone, the 10 slots are gone, you'd have to pay 250,000 for the late registrations. All right. So once I click on choose payment plan, you see the different payment plans, right? I can make a full payment, one-time payment, select that is 120, or I can pay in 3 installments of 50K until I complete my payments 3 times. And you can select different currencies. You click on start with 50K, and that gets you to register. I'm going to select my cohort. So you can start the July cohort. The June cohort started already last week, Saturday. You can join the July cohort. You click on July, and then you click on start with 50,000 naira. Okay, and that's how you can get started. Okay, so I promised I was going to show you 4 things today, and one of the 4th thing on that list was showing you how to start your journey today. And this is how you start. 50K is what you spend, you know, in a day or 2 days on, you know, so many relevancies today. But this is what it takes for you to transform your career and get a job doing amazing stuff. Okay. And I also have something extra for those, the first 10 people that will be joining. I have one more thing for you. Out of the first 10 people, 5 out of you would get access to a free session with me on how to land remote jobs in Canada. Okay, and you might be wondering, why is this important? Why do I need a session on how to land remote jobs in Canada? 2 major reasons. Number 1 is I'm a tech founder in Canada, tech entrepreneur in Canada, 3 different companies built, existing, and running in Canada. And second reason why you want this is a lot of people make the mistake of just applying to jobs online. And if that's what you do, you'd always get the same results that everybody gets. Unfortunately. An AI bot somewhere will be sending you the unfortunately emails, just like we built today. So you don't want that. You want to target companies that would get you an interview, and I'll show you how to do that. All right. So 5 people out of the 10 would get access to this session. And if you're one of the 10 people, you also get the discount as well. So this is icing on the cake for you, something extra for those who are ready to start their journey. All right. So I'm going to take questions before we call it a day. Before I take my first question, so if you have a question, you can drop it in the chat. I'll pick it from there. If you want to unmute, you can unmute. You can raise your hand, unmute yourself, and I'll also take your question. But before you do that, I want you to do something, and I want you to follow me. Follow me on LinkedIn. Follow Tenalytics Business on LinkedIn. So you're one of the first few people that get to see the amazing stuff that we are building. All right. So what you want to do, once you go on LinkedIn, search for Adeza Suleiman. You'd see this picture pop up. That's me right there. Click on that. It takes you to my profile. Connect with me. I'll be very happy to connect with every single one of you. All right. Yeah, you get to see all the amazing stuff we have for you. We are doing some amazing stuff right now. And this was me in the Vancouver Web Summit in Vancouver, Canada. Myself and the co-founder of Tenalytics, we attended to represent, Tenalytics within this amazing event. And that's Efemena, the co-founder right there. That's Efemena, the co-founder, and that's me right there. So you get to see the amazing stuff, how we've helped over 4,000 people within the tech ecosystem to build amazing stuff, amazing careers, and how you can also get to do the same. Okay, so make sure you follow and make sure you're a part of the journey starting on the 4th of August, 2026. And I'll take questions before we wrap up today. Stephanie says done. Stephanie has registered. So I'm going to check to see how many people have registered before we wrap up our session today. All right. I need just 10 people to take advantage of the discount, and you also get the opportunity to have a sit down with me, and I show you the strategies you need to land those remote jobs you've been struggling to get. Okay. So I have 4 payments that have come in so far. I have 6 slots left for the discount for those interested in taking advantage of the discounts. Okay, so time for questions and answers, Q&As. If you have any question for me, this is the best time for you to ask your question. Let me see. Sally is saying, I was able to make and complete a one-time payment for July. Fantastic, Sally. Salihu Ahmed. Good to have you on board, Salihu. The class is for how many months, and what day and time. Your classes happens on Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Okay, you have your live classes on Saturdays. Your live classes are on Saturdays, and you have your self-paced class that happens any day of the week. So the self-paced class is at your own convenience. You don't have to join a live class. So after Saturday, I'll show you, this is what your dashboard looks like. All right, so you have access to your dashboard to get into the program you registered for once you have your live class on Saturday. So let's say on a Monday, on a Tuesday or Wednesday, you want to practice on your own, you want to learn new concepts, you come to your learning management system, you go to your lesson videos, you select the program you registered for, and you can start watching your videos, okay? And you are taught by the best professionals in the industry, all right? So here I'm learning generative AI, creating automation workflows. So I click on play and I can watch and see what is happening. I can practice on my own, anywhere, anytime, my own convenience.
Now, if Ada is going back to her suppliers to get more products.
So yeah, this is how you learn every other day apart from Saturdays. But on Saturday, you have a professional like myself, a live class, a live session where you have the opportunity to interact, you ask questions, you can raise your hand and say, hey, Adeza, while you were teaching, I tried to do the prompt while sending email in building my technical recruiter. It didn't work out the same way. I can tell you to share your screen. Let me have a look at your workflow, and I give you feedback on what you're doing wrong and what you should start doing to get the right results. Okay, so that's what it looks like for you. And that's how you get to learn. I hope I answered your question, Yemi. Okay, let me see if I have any more questions before we call it a day today. Remember, once you've made your payments, just send a message, send a WhatsApp to this number. All right, send a WhatsApp to this number. Okay. Right, so I now have 6 payments. So I need just 4 more people who are ready to get that journey started. And then we'll be wrapping up for today. We don't seem to have too many questions. If you've had an amazing time, you've learned something new today. You didn't know Lindy AI. Most of you gave the thumbs down when I asked if you knew how to use Lindy AI. So you learned something new. You could see the power of Lindy AI, building something that can do the job for you while you sleep. If you learned something new today, give me a thumbs up. Okay, give me a thumbs up if you learned something new. Ademola gave the thumbs up. Fantastic. Can I secure my slots with 20,000 tonight? No, you can't, Sambi. The minimum is 50,000 to secure your slots, and then you make the subsequent payments afterwards. All right. Okay. I'm not sure we have more questions. Okay, one question from Stephanie. Stephanie is saying, is it only Gmail accounts that the agent responds to? Is there also a prompt for the agent to reply on a specific timeline? Yes, you can do all of that. And not just Gmail, Stephanie. Or any email, the common email platforms, you know, Gmail, Microsoft Outlook, Yahoo Mail, different types of emails, okay, not just Gmail. All right. So if you don't also find your email on the list, you can, you know, request for a custom email. So maybe your email is stephanie@stephanieenterprises.com. Maybe that's your email, right? You can also connect to that. Or my email, for example, is adeza@tenalytics.io. I can also connect that as a custom email. Okay, so you can always make those customizations to fit what you want exactly. And in terms of prompts, in terms of multiple things we could have added to that agent, okay, we can add a prompt to say the agent itself to interview the candidate, and we connect the agent to another platform, interviews by AI, that would carry out the interview for us and send us a summary of the report. So you speak, you see somebody speaking to you, but it's not a real person. It's an AI agent also speaking to you. And these are things you can also add to your agent. We don't have enough time to build that on the call. So I just showed you the fastest and the most interesting thing you can do within the shortest period possible. All right. Yemi Festus said, just made 50,000 part payment right now. Please confirm. So Yemi, what you want to do is send a message to this number, the number on my screen, 070370321116. And of course, if you are not in Nigeria, that's a Nigerian number actually. If you're not in Nigeria, just add +234 703 7032116. All right. And welcome on board, Yemi. So Sambi Consults, Deborah, that's my colleague, is asking you to send a message to the number on the screen, not the number on the screen, the number in the chat. And I'm sure maybe she can help you out with something to ensure that you don't miss out on the discount. I'm Sambi. Sambi Consults. Send a message to my colleague Deborah Noah, and Deborah would help you out with something. All right. So follow us across all platforms, like I mentioned. Follow me on LinkedIn. Follow Tenalytic Business on LinkedIn. Follow us on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook. We currently have an amazing AI hackathon ongoing, and I want you to follow and be a part of it. All right, be a part of it. So I'm going to show you the AI hackathon. Okay. So if you follow us on LinkedIn, you'll be a part of it. So there was a live session where we introduced the launch. You can see that the 10AB Hack AI-thon launch ceremony. Okay, so you want to get to be a part of it, and you see people that are building amazing stuff. This is Armstrong, Ajekonye Armstrong. You can see this AI agent he's built. So let's see what he's built. He's saying that business spend weeks researching the market. This AI agent does it in minutes. I am currently testing an AI-powered market intelligence agent I built for a client. Remember, what we built was an AI agent to help with HR-related activities. But Armstrong has built an AI agent to do what? Carry out market intelligence. Okay, the solution automatically conducts market research, analyzes competitors, identifies opportunities and risk, generates executive level intelligence reports, converts them into professional PDFs, and delivers them directly via email. This sounds like something we just did, right? All without human intervention. Okay, what once took hours of manual research now takes minutes. You can see the video of what Armstrong has built. You can see his AI agent. So you can see what Armstrong has built, all the multiple, workflows you can see, and so on. And he's showing what he's built, documenting what he has done in real time. And something that took so long to do can now be done in a few minutes. These are the type of things you get to learn. Okay. And you can see he tagged Tenalytics business, tagged Tenalytics while building this. Okay, these are the type of things you also get to learn, and you also get to build. All right, so follow us on LinkedIn and be a part of this amazing stuff we are building for professionals like yourself, helping people of the Black community to transition into the tech ecosystem. All right, so we're going to call it a day at this point, and thanks once again for being a part of our session today. All right, make sure if you haven't filled the attendance, it will be sent to your WhatsApp groups so you get to fill, so you can get the recording. Make sure you watch, practice on your own, try to build what we built today, and more importantly, get into the program. It costs nothing for you to do that, and the value you get compared to the amount you've paid is unbelievable, and that's what you need to land those opportunities, irrespective of where you are across the globe. Thanks again once more for being a part of our session this evening, and I hope you have an amazing weekend ahead of you. Cheers, everyone, and have an amazing time.